Even dealers like me get fooled by these sets, and they can be very frustrating, and you have to really watch when you buy them. What am I talking about? Well, let's take a look. So we have these sets here in the capital holders and snap tie holders we're going to talk about. Then we have these. Now this is an after mint creation. I know that the coins are authentic, but all of this was made up. Typically, you would see a big old stamp, an ink stamp on here with the mint and the date. This does not have that. It was written. Okay, you can buy this paper and get these boxes like little gift boxes. And what they do is sometimes they'll take and they'll polish up actual Franklin halves and dimes and quarters, and they'll put in these holders. They'll repackage it. This is actually not the original mint cello here. Now these are proof coins, it looks like, but you have to be careful because they will be cleaned, often cleaned, because they have toning. And instead of just dipping them in something like EasyEst, some of these companies back in the day, or whoever creates these, will scrub them up. Now, these look like they're okay, except for the Franklin half. Looks like it might have some lines on it there, on the obverse. Definitely has some clean lines on it. You can see that. So it's unfortunate. So this is not an original set. You can't pay original set prices. You have to pay problem coin and paired proof prices. But if you don't check this when you're buying, then you get fooled. And you pay too much for something that is not worth what you paid for it. Obviously. And I did it. I got fooled on these because there was another one in there that was original. I saw these two on top of it and I really didn't discriminate like I should have. And then this one here. This isn't a proof. This is a polished business strike. Proofs have a certain look to them. And you saw the other one that was cleaned. They'll have, even though they're not considered cameo, they will have a little bit of a cameo appearance. But what they'll do is sometimes they'll take the better Franklin half out that might have a cameo or a real nice high grade to it. They'll send it off for grading and put a polished business strike in, and then the rest of these will be proofs. You know, I know some people are going to disagree with me. They're going to say, no, that Franklin's a proof. It's just cleaned. Well, I do beg to differ. I've not actually had other dealers look at this coin at the coin show, and they agreed with me. It just doesn't have that strike that you would see or you'd expect to see on a proof coin. So, but regardless, it is a problem coin. I won't sell it as a proof now. I will most certainly find a 53 proof maybe and put a set together, or I'll just go ahead and sell the other coins separate, the lower denomination separately. So you have to watch out for these boxes. Make sure they have that mint step on them with a large date, and make sure the coins are original. They don't come in that kind of cello. It's a softer, really tones the coins up, so you want to make sure that that's what they're in. These can be retaped. I mean, like I said, you can buy this tape. That's what they use for registered mail. Then you have these sets. And the issue with these sets is not that some of them aren't really nice. It's that some of them are toned, as you can see. And this one's hazy. A lot of times the snap type will be scratched, or the capital holder especially. Then you'll see other things like the coins might be cleaned. They might be crooked in the holder. And you never know what you're getting. Sometimes there won't be proof. Sometimes I said they'll replace the proof with a business strike that's polished up. Maybe the company didn't even know it. I mean, who knows? I don't know I can't say for sure. Some companies do know it and they do it on purpose. Then you buy mint state sets like this, and almost always there is an issue with the coins. There's always like maybe a scratch or maybe a mark here or there that it's not obvious. They're right on the edge, even though these look pretty nice. Still yet, you got a mixed match of dates, and it's just one of those things where you pretty much have to break it apart because you got 50 in here and you got 55. And if you're not watching, you don't realize what you're buying, and you pay a price that is a little more or maybe even a bit less. And that's a 50D. But what's a 50D doing in a holder with 55 coins, and then you got the 1922 piece that has nothing to do with it? It's almost like a mini typeset of some sort. If you're not watching, that's what'll happen. You'll buy something like that and realize that something's going on with it, something's wrong. This 96 Morgan dollar is 50-50 on possibly being cleaned. And then you have a 63 proof. Then you have a really nice mercury dime. But the problem with that is you can see right here, right underneath the L, is a little rub. Probably a roller mark. Well, that's going to be problem coin. Probably why it's in the set. Don't pay attention to their prices there. We'll have to double check those. It's a nice Indian cent, but can't guarantee that that'd be a problem-free coin. But you run into this all the time. These come in the shop, and these holders need to be replaced because they got tape on them. Might have some damage. These aren't sealed from the mint. These don't come from the mint. Now, that's a large date there. So you want to make sure you check that. Then you look at the clean lines. You can see it. So make sure you hold them at an angle when you're buying these. Make sure they are proofs. If not, when in doubt, don't do without. I mean, that's how you work that one. And that's how we do it here. That's why we pay pretty much melt for a lot of these. Unless we know for sure they're all proofs, then we'll go a little bit higher. But you can't pay gray sheet because they're not in original holders. But if they're really nice, super nice coins in these holders, you can get a decent premium out of them. Sometimes they're cherry picked. Sometimes they're cherry picked for being nicer, choice coins, but not always. And then what happens after a while when someone stores them improperly? They get hazy. So then the thing a dealer has to decide on: are you going to take another picture, spend all your time taking pictures of all these different ones? Or are you going to maybe dip them in EZS to get rid of the haze, whatever's on them? It might be PVC residue. You never know. Sometimes you want to get that off there. There's acetone, things like that you can try on them. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to spend too much time on them? You're just going to unload them? It's an issue of time and money. And then if you are a collector, you don't want to buy something that's not what it is. So these definitely need a really good picture and priced accordingly to what they are, whether they're proofs or not. And then you sell them that way. That's pretty much how we do it here. Sometimes we'll break them apart. But you don't want to spend too much time, because maybe I should just send these off for grading. Just take them all out and send them all off for grading, and then we'll have them all in holders, and whatever they are, they are. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. And I'm not saying that dealers don't like buying these sets. There are some dealers who don't. Now, I had these at the coin show. I had some people buy them. One dealer who sends off 1,000 sets a month, it seems like, to PCGS, he was telling me. He said he passes on these because there's just too many variables. Why I wanted to do this video, because I thought it'd be cool to do this video and show these off a little bit. We do have some of these up on the site. We sell them. We do pretty good with them. But some of them we have to, like I said, we have to restore them. Like the orientation here, we have to change that around. And if it's in the screw tights here, like the capitals, then you got to unscrew all these screws just to get to the coins to change the orientation. And not that that's a huge deal, and not complaining about buying these sets at all. I enjoy these sets. I like it better than the mint packaging, to be honest. This one here is a small date. You can see 1960. You can see that's a small date there. So some of them can have toning on them, the sets, as you can see on this one here. The toning can be attractive or it can be distracting. There's a lot of stuff on that coin. A lot of times, too, they'll have fingerprints where they've been handled because they had to be taken out of a holder and put in these holders. So people don't always clean their hands. Here's another example of a proof set that's after mint packaging. You have to realize this is after mint. This is not how they were issued by the U.S. Mint. Someone created it. Now, this is nice. Nice patina on those coins, the toning. So I wanted to share that with everyone. Those sets and the capital holders and the snap tights and then the fake box holders, it's a thing. It happens a lot. And like I said, I have accumulation of these now, and I'm eventually going to, take pictures and sell them. But the thing is that it takes more time because I can't just use a stock photo like I can with, let's say, the Mint-Cello, the original packaging. You can just put it up, and as long as it don't have toning on it and it looks like a decent, no haze, you can sell them as stock photos and do very well with them. We don't have returns on our proof sets and our mint sets because we do that. We go through them. We have a stack or a couple boxes full of rejected proof sets of mint sets that had toning on them, had some issues, and we'll eventually sell them in lots or just sell them as toned or spotted. But we put off on it because we're going through all of our proof sets of mint sets. If we buy a huge run or we buy a large lot or someone brings them into the shop, we go through them and then we can put the nice sets that we cherry picked out as stock photos so everybody will be happy with what they get. The rejects kind of sit back there until we get time to take the pictures, time to describe them and show the coin that has got an issue with it. Because who wants to open up a proof set that has ugly toning or has a huge mark on it somewhere, a bunch of milk spots? We don't want to do that. That's not how we do it here. But some of these sets here, they do have that, and that's the issue. So anyways, thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.